Hello and welcome back to another episode of Respawn Radio with your host Paul
and Raphi.
And today we're going to be talking about The Room from 2003. It's a film you've wanted to talk about for basically since the start.
Yeah, since 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
6 weeks ago.
7 weeks
When's
ago.
this episode going live?
This is episode 7.
It's the ultimate of shit but great films. It's so shit. It's fantastic. It's like Plan 9 from Outer Space, if you ever saw that. It's so shit, it's magnificent.
It's just hilarious. So the director...
Tommy Wiseau.
Yep, who's also the writer and the producer and the costume designer.
Watching the opening credits where it goes through everyone, and it only goes through his name, and you're like, right, okay, he's done it. Okay,
here he is again, yep.
Okay, he produced it.
Uh-huh.
He's starring in it. He's the first AD. How the hell is he the runner? What do you mean he's a sound designer? There's no way he's fourth AD.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, he might as well have been, honestly. So this is a self-financed movie.
I couldn't believe that he didn't put in special thanks to Tommy Wiseau in there as well.
Well, you haven't seen The Disaster Artist, have you?
No.
So
I do want to, but I've just not.
Basically, The Disaster Artist is a film that came out recently based off of a book that came out in 2014. We're going to do a separate show for that film, but I read the book and there's a lot that film doesn't cover, so I'll mention the bits that I feel are relevant that don't get covered in the film because I don't want to get doubled up on talking points.
Right.
But it goes into a lot of detail explaining how this film got made. It was a self-financed film by Tommy Wiseau, who was basically a businessman who sold ripped off bootleg jeans. He had a clothing company,
right?
And he had millions, so he financed this movie because he was trying to make it in Hollywood, and no one would hire him because he obviously
doesn't surprise me.
Cannot act to save his life.
He's like a shit vampire. Like, if you look at him,
he talks in a really weird, thick European accent.
He's also weird himself. He never, like, people have asked him where you from, and he's like, "Aha, I'm from somewhere."
He goes, I'm from New Orleans. He goes, what about it? I'm American with accent. That's what he says.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, but where are your parents from? He goes, they are from the planet there.
Yeah. He goes, you mind your own business, you nosy.
Hi, Mark.
So, what do you love about this movie? Because, like you say, it's so bad it's good. When you think of The Room, what's the first thing that comes to mind aside from Vampire Man?
It's the many quotes. It's the subplots that go nowhere.
That get absolutely just it's full of fucking non sequiturs.
It's things that come up which seem like massive things which don't. It's the scenes that aren't even subplots which don't serve any purpose. It's the terrible acting.
My favourite parts are the repeated scenes. Like, there's about 3 or 4 scenes with Lisa, the character Lisa, and her mother just sitting in a room having the same conversation in different variations, but it's basically the same conversation.
It's also the fact that I'm pretty sure Tommy Wiseau doesn't know where a vagina is.
Yeah. There's many a sex scenes in this.
There's many a sex scenes where he's not in the right position.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know where that is either, but it's between the legs.
Thanks, Raph. Thanks for that, mate.
One day you will find it, but
I can always count on you to put my life in perspective.
It's all of it, though. It's a combination of everything that makes it so horrible, but it's just something you can't stop watching.
So it's a movie that was meant to be taken as a serious American drama.
Yeah,
that's what he envisioned when he made it.
That wasn't the final result.
No, of course not. He met the co-star Greg Sestero, who plays as Mark, who's you're my best friend. Yeah, so they're actually best friends in real life.
Are they?
Yeah. They
see, that didn't come across in the film.
No,
you think them being best friends in real life, they'd have some chemistry, but I don't think Tommy Wiseau has any chemistry with anyone.
He's
or charisma.
He wrote it and based obviously the main character off of himself.
Yeah.
But he's very opposite to how he is in real life. Like, in the film, he's a character that's surrounded by friends and family and is loved. But in real life, he's a loner. The only real person he has in his life is Greg Sestero.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad if you think about it.
It is kind of sad because
he's kind of he wrote himself as someone he wants to be.
Basically.
Which, in the end, is dead.
He dies right in the very end because it's a tragic. It's meant to be a tragedy rather than.
They tried to go like full Romeo and Juliet.
But if you check on IMDb, they've changed it to a black comedy because the thing is, Tommy Wiseau is obviously he's wisened up to it. I guess he doesn't really fully understand that people will laugh at it for a specific reason, but he's embraced it. He's embraced the memes, and there's many like that. I think like the director of like Troll 2. Which is meant to be another one of those really so bad it's good movies. The director was like faced with a bunch of fans who were like laughing at his film, and rather than taking it on the chin and laughing back with them like Tommy Wiseau did, he was just like, fuck you guys. If you don't like my movie, go fuck yourselves. And because Tommy didn't do that, he just rode the coattails to success. Even to this day, he sells out to like completely like sold out theatre showings of this film. He was in Liverpool like a couple of years ago. A guy that I used to work with met him, and he signed underpants for him, a picture for him. And Tommy Wiseau on the band like Calvin Klein. It was great.
That's what you want.
Exactly.
Right, so I think we should start talking about the plot.
Okay, so Tommy plays as a character called Johnny. No surname, just Johnny.
So creative.
Yeah.
My name is Tommy. What should I call this character? I don't know why I keep on going to bother.
I call myself a Johnny. It's nice.
It's very nice.
Welcome to my crib. Yeah, he's a banker. Although you never see him at work.
No, he talks about his work a lot, but he talks about him being shit at his job.
We got a new client at the bank and make a lot of money. That's what he says.
All the time. He's got a girlfriend who is his fiance.
Yep, who they establish he's been with for about 5 years.
Yeah, they've been living together for about that long as well.
Which is really creepy because I think when they filmed it, she was about 23 or 22.
He's about 50.
It was at least a 40 when they filmed it.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, when they met, she was either like 17 or 18, and he still must have been like 35.
Yeah. Is creepy. But I think he tries to pass himself off as being younger.
Yeah, I think because he wrote himself as his dream version of himself.
Yeah, so he was like 20.
In it. He's supposed to be.
Even though he's like, because there's a part in it where he's naked and he's so wrinkly.
He has his arse out.
Yeah, oh God, not the arse.
So many arse shots.
All the arse shots. I've never been able to get hard after that.
Oh God. Tommy Wiseau, I don't know why you're trying, mate. Gay?
The film opens up instantly to him walking through the door, just going like, oh, hi.
Hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
I have something for you.
And what he's got isn't flowers.
No, he's got a dress for her.
Yeah, he's got a red dress. And I just want to get this out of the way first. Throughout this entire film, I was convinced that she was actually a serial killer.
So Lisa is the most evil fucking cunt in fiction.
No. What I mean is the way she was acting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she's just a shit actress. For the first half of the film, I thought she was acting like that because she was actually going to kill Tommy. I thought that's where the film was leading.
That would have been a more interesting ending.
And I was so disappointed when it turned out she was just shit. And I was like, oh, but she was doing so well.
No, she honestly...
And then it turned out she wasn't. She was doing awful.
She's like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, she can't make up her mind. There's tons of, like, conversations with her mum where she's like, I don't love Tommy anymore. I'm cheating on him.
Well, what it is she's like, all the way through...
And then she's like, oh, I love him, and he's supportive of his family, and he loves the people around him. It's like, make up your mind.
Well, what it is all the way through, she's like, I don't love him. And then all the way through, again, her mum's like, but he buys you stuff. Which is such a good reason to be with him.
She is the most materialistic old fucking witch.
Like, he bought me a car and this house and my wedding dress and all that shit. And it's
okay.
Like, now you are literally the worst type of person.
I mean, you could tell it's definitely her mother.
Yeah, who's like goading on. She's like, you can't leave him. You've got stability. It's like, fucking hell. You're the worst. Tommy walks in. He's got this red dress and she tries it on. And they start kissing. And then all of a sudden, like what is meant to be... I repeat, meant to be an 18-year-old child.
Yeah.
He's
called Denny.
Yeah, Denny, this 35-year-old man.
You know what's a fun fact? Is that out of all the cast, aside from Tommy, he was the oldest one. So he's playing the youngest character, but he's actually the oldest actor.
Yeah.
Look at him now. Google a picture of what he looks like now. He's gone bald, basically.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
So he walks through the door, and he's meant to be their neighbour. And...
He's not, though.
You know he is.
Well, he is their neighbour, but he's got the story fails to. You have to find out the bigger details through Wikipedia.
Essentially, yeah.
He's basically
He's like a rescue child that they rescued.
yeah, he's like a ward. Like
Yeah.
Tommy pays for his education.
Yeah, he kind of like looks at. I don't think he has any parents or anything because basically they're like surrogates to him.
Yeah.
She's wearing the red dress that Tommy got her, and Tommy's like, "Oh, let's go upstairs." And he's
Fucking Denny.
and Danny's like, "It's Danny, isn't it? Is it
Denny.
Danny?" Danny's like, "Can I join?"
And they say no.
No, they
but
say
then
no.
then
So they go upstairs anyway to have sex. Bearing in mind, this 18-year-old just walked into the house. They just leave him to it to go upstairs. He eats an apple, and then they start kissing for ages.
Do you know why he eats the apple? Tommy Wiseau, as a director, was like, "You must eat the apple. It is a very sexual symbol."
For what?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Just eat the apple. Anyway, he basically jumps on the bed, and it's fuck me. Just I got cold sweats of awkwardness.
Yeah. So what happens is, the pillow fighting. They're trying to do like the worst foreplay ever, and they end up pillow fighting. Then all of a sudden, Denny jumps on the bed with them. Does company, frees the crowd.
Oh, God, I just wanted to punch him.
And then he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go then." He's like, was he trying to get into a threesome with them too?
I don't know. Because I know that he wants to fuck Lisa.
Yeah, because he says it later on, which we'll get to. But anyway, so after that unbelievably just awkwardness, like that is the most awkward thing I've ever...
All the scenes in this film, you could put in any order, really.
Yeah, you can. They don't follow any chronological order. In fact, I can talk about the middle bit, the beginning bit, then the end bit, and it won't be any worse or better off.
No, the next bit is...
so the next...
They go straight onto the sex scene.
Yeah, so they have sex, and I really don't think he knows what a vagina is. Because he starts penetrating a belly button.
Way too high.
Way too high. And it goes on such an awkward amount of time. Like, it's so long, and it's just not what you want to see. And she's got terrible boobs.
I thought they were quite nice tits.
No, they were shit. So basically, they have the longest sex of their life.
It really was.
They have the longest sex of my life.
It was awful. I was watching it. I was thinking, is this ever going to end?
I was like, okay, it's going to finish. Okay, it's going to finish.
I think it went on.
Okay, they've changed position. It's like 20 minutes, and it's like
no, it's not 20.
It's half the film.
No, it's not.
It's like it goes.
I mean, all the sex scenes together.
It goes straight from this to oh hi Mark, and then dead. So no, so they have sex and it's shit.
He has a rose for some reason and starts sprinkling petals on himself and her while they're fucking. And
bearing in mind, it's Tommy Wiseau, the one who looks like a dead vampire.
He had one copy of this script on the film set. He wouldn't let anyone see it. He basically, just before they needed to film a scene, he would show them what their lines are, get them to memorize it, and that was it. He wouldn't give them... No one had a full copy of the script.
Why? What was he expecting to happen?
I don't know. I guess it was like his masterpiece. He wanted to keep it a secret. So he wanted to only let people know what to say when they needed to say it. It was questionable whether or not this film was even going to get done. Most of the people obviously thought this was going to go nowhere. This is just some narcissist vanity project.
It was. So they finish having sex. You see his arse.
Oh, yeah. So we done the arse bit.
It's like imprinted on your brain.
Yep.
And then he goes off to work, and it's where Lisa's mum shows up. Straight off the bat. And she's just saying about how, I hate Johnny, I don't want to marry him, blah, blah, blah. And she's, you need to stay with him because he buys your shit. This is the first sort of case study of bringing something up and then immediately dropping it. So a mum goes, out of nowhere, well, I'm ill. And she goes, you're not ill. She goes, I am ill. I got the test results back. I have cancer.
I've got breast cancer.
I've got breast cancer. And Lisa, who is her daughter, doesn't show any emotion to this. She just goes, yeah, maybe I should marry Johnny. Just doesn't even acknowledge it, and nobody brings it back up.
Yeah, it was pointless to mention.
Completely, yep.
But then there's lots of stuff that's completely pointless to mention. Like there's a bit later on in the film where Johnny's with a bunch of friends. They're wearing tuxedos for some reason. Now I can only speculate that it's some kind of like wedding rehearsal.
Yeah,
they never say it. Like I guess again, like photographs taken like preemptively. Anyway, they go out into the alleyway. They play a game of American football. Well, it's not. They're not playing it. They're just chucking a ball to each other.
Yeah, they're chucking a ball, and then one of them trips over, and they all laugh at him.
And that was it. That's the end of the scene.
That's the only realistic part. Is when
completely irrelevant.
You laugh at your mate falls over. But yeah, no, there's loads and loads and loads of scenes like that where it just doesn't go anywhere.
It would be completely pointless to try go through this chronologically. So let's just pick up the scenes that come to mind. The character Denny, has an ongoing side quest
Yep.
where he's got some horrendous drug addiction.
Yeah, so...
He's addicted to the marijuanas.
He's addicted... Yeah, is it marijuana? I thought it was
Yeah.
cocaine, isn't it? It's something
well,
harder,
they just say the drugs.
Okay, yeah, but I thought it was like heroin.
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
there's a part in it where he's on the roof. There's a drug dealer there, and he's full on like, where's my money? He's got a gun and everything.
Chris R, the gangster, he's called Chris R. The R doesn't stand for anything. It's just called Chris R. And they actually asked him, why is he called Chris R? Because it sounds like gangster.
He is a moron, isn't he?
He is a fucking...
He's the only one that's giving it his all, actually.
That's true.
He actually is full on giving it his all. He's actually scary.
He was a friend of a person who was on the film set. So he wasn't even cast. Basically, I think one of the people behind the scenes was like, I've got a friend who's like big and imposing. Get him in for a day. He came in, just did it.
So he's like threatening him and then...
Pulls a gun out.
Where's
my fucking money, Danny? Where's my fucking money?
And he's like, I'll get it to you. And then everyone else comes up and they're like, we'll get at you. And he fucks off.
No, I'm not big into drugs, but I'm not sure how this works. Don't you usually have to pay before you get the product?
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Unless he's a dealer, but usually you have to put a sum of money down as a deposit first.
I assume he's a dealer. Maybe it was a case of you can have this for free, but pay me later on interest.
Yeah, but they never established that. And if it does, like, he looks like a nerdy school kid. He doesn't look like some fucking crackhead. He doesn't look like someone with a problem.
That plot came out of nowhere. And then again, as soon as the scene's over, it finishes.
Yep.
So,
well, not before Lisa and Claudette, Lisa's mother, come up and they start haranguing her. Johnny and Mark rush up just in the nick of time. They wrestle what's-his-face to his ground, Chris R., and they take him to the police station very quickly, mind you.
Yeah.
Because there's only about maybe a minute, 2 minutes...
Before they come back.
And meanwhile, between then, Lisa and the mother are having a go at him, just screaming, just hysterics. Just
why are you doing this? Why are you? And then the mother's going crazy, like, you are a terrible person.
Yeah. You should know better. And he's just like, stop, you're not my fucking mother.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's just so shit.
Stop ganging up on me.
Like, and she's like proper shaking and like, how could you do this to me? He's like, oh my God.
What kind of drugs did you take? Oh God, I love this film so much because of scenes like this. Tommy and Mark come back up and he go, are you all right? Anyway, let's go eat, huh?
Yes, amazing.
Straight to food.
And then that's done. There's a subplot. So obviously we've established that Lisa doesn't like Johnny.
Well, yeah, so she's on her way out, but it's weird. She's always saying that she loves him, and then she's saying...
But she doesn't. She's come up with a lie that Tommy's hit her.
Oh,
and all the way through, everyone's like, have you hit her? And bearing in mind, she's got no bruises anywhere on her body or anything.
No proof.
So she's like, he hit me. And he's going crazy over it.
Hashtag listen and believe.
Yep. There's a scene where he goes back to the roof and Mark's there. Bearing in mind, she's also sleeping with Mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she forgot about that little bit.
Yeah.
His best friend is fucking his fiancée.
Yeah. This is all going to go downhill for Tommy. So his best friend's fucking his fiancée. And he finds out that there's a rumour going on that he hit her. And he's going crazy and he goes up to the roof. And this is just a perfect scene of just Johnny just not being able to act.
Yep.
Just so irregular in his speech patterns. And he's just like...
I did not hit her.
I did not hit her. Yeah. I didn't do it. I did not. Mm-hmm. Oh, hi, Mark.
Do you know why that felt so weird and stilted?
I don't know.
It took 32 takes to do.
Why?
Because he couldn't remember his lines. You know, he kept like walking into the wrong spot and he kept like going like just
he wrote it and directed
I know.
it.
That's the best part. He couldn't remember his own script. It's 32 fucking takes. I mean, in the film The Disaster Artist, they do a really good reenactment of him fucking up the lines. And they sort of exaggerate it. They make it so like it took like 90 something just for, you know, for the film to make it funnier.
Yeah.
But 32 takes is on a film set. That's hours.
That's hours. And there's a lot of people getting pissed off and there's a lot of people holding sound recording equipment getting really pissed off.
The only way he gets him to do it properly is by
saying it all really quickly.
No, not that. Mark gives him a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, do what you're always telling me to do. Use some emotion. He goes, emotion, of course. Why you not say this before? So he gets it and he goes, I did not. And at the end, he throws the bottle on the floor and he goes, oh, hi, Mark. And then walks, and that's it. And that was that's how he did it. The bottle. It was genius.
That's insane.
And it's just such a little thing. Like, you didn't even remember the bottle. Like, you'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But that is the thing that allowed him to fucking finish the streak of fucked up takes. And then they move on to him sitting down. And then Mark proceeds to tell him a story about how he knew a girl where she was slutting it about and a bunch of guys beat her up. And then Tom...
Yeah, okay, so, and then he laughs at it and goes, ha ha, what a story.
What a story. What a horrible story.
Yeah, but he finds it funny. He's telling her about how this girl, he goes, oh, it got so bad she went to hospital. And he just goes, ha 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 ha, what a story. It's just like, what?
The funny bit they didn't mention in the Disaster Artist film is that, so Greg sort of ad-libs the line, he says the name of a street. And it turns out that in real life, this was the street that Tommy lived on. Now, Tommy, as a guy, is a really secretive person. He doesn't like anyone knowing his business. That's why he didn't show anyone the script. That's why no one knows anything about his past or his, like, where he's from or where he's got his money from. So when the take finished, and it was the only take they could use because it was the only one where the audio came out okay. So that's why they had to be stuck with it. But he basically, like, after he turned to him and he goes, Greg, what are you doing? You crazy? Are you insane in the head? And he's like, what? It's, I just ad-libbed. And he's just like, he fucking went mad. Like, he's such a strange human being.
He's not human.
And this is a fact. You're going to love this. And I'm going to tell you this now because I can't wait. I wanted to wait, but Tommy had this idea of an alternate ending to The Room.
Right.
Where he was a vampire and he flew off the roof in a car. That is true.
So why didn't he do it?
I don't know. I guess time restraints. Because a lot of the scenes that end up going on, he spent so much time wasting time that a lot of the actors couldn't commit. Like, they had to go off to other projects and stuff like that. When we breezed through a bit, they introduced some new characters. They introduced Johnny's psychologist friend.
Yeah, he comes out of nowhere.
So I guess he's just a friend that he had, and they sit down and have a chat. Now, there's another guy who comes into it. It's not a wedding reception, is it? It's not even an engagement party because they're already engaged. There's some party. Oh no,
it's a birthday.
Yes, it's Johnny's birthday, and there's a guy who walks in on Lisa and Mark making out, and you went, "Who the fuck's that?"
Yeah, okay. So this random guy comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Johnny's gonna hate this. So what are you doing?"
Do you want to know who he is?
Go on.
He's meant to be his lines were originally for the psychologist character,
right?
But the actor couldn't stick around. The actor had other stuff to do. So they just made up some new character and gave it to him. So he walks in like we're supposed to know who he is.
Without introducing him. Exactly.
But the thing is, there were other characters he could have given those lines to.
He could have given them to the kid. To his mum.
No, not even them. They're very, very minor bit parts, but it's established that Lisa has a friend, woman.
Yeah, the two friends who have sex.
Yeah, and she has a boyfriend who, for some reason, tried fucking Johnny's house. It's like Johnny's house, just like the fucking train station of where all these uni students meet.
Yeah.
Because you got Denny, and then you got these two random characters who are like about to have sex on his sofa and then get caught because
her mum walks in. Lisa's mum walks.
Yeah.
And but then Lisa's mum's like, do you just keep your door open? She goes, yes, it's fine. And it's like, no, people, like, random people are going into your house having sex.
But the point I was trying to get at was that those two characters, the girl and the boyfriend, they could have been given the line that was given to that new random character that was just inserted in the
Tommy
end.
would have had to go down the easy route, which he didn't want to do. He wanted to go down the hard route that cost more money. But yeah, there's loads. There's a scene in it. And I love the scene because it's so fast-paced and it's all done on ADR, which is post-recording audio, where you can't get the audio, so you record it. And
dubbing.
Dubbing, essentially. Yeah. And he goes to a shop to buy some flowers, and he walks in, and it's so fast-paced and so out of sequence. Because I'm almost sure that the dubbing is out of order.
It must be.
Because he goes in.
He goes, "How can I get a dozen red roses, please?" And she goes, "Oh, hi, Johnny, I didn't know it was you." And then she walks off, and he goes, "That's me." And she goes,
"There you go.
Here you go. Here you go, keep the change." "Oh, hi, doggy. You're my favourite customer." After he says that.
Yeah, after he says that and after he's already gone. But it's so fast-paced, that entire scene.
I felt drunk watching it. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That entire scene takes literally about 5 seconds to do.
Yeah.
And I know we just did it in 5 seconds.
It was about the same.
And we did it quicker than I would normally do it. That scene should have been like a good 35, 40 seconds longer than what it was. And it was just bizarre.
Yeah. So the lady in the flower shop was actually the flower shop owner.
Okay.
That's a fun fact. The pug sitting on the side was actually her pug.
What's that?
Yeah, he petted it, and and he says to the woman on film set, he's just like, "Is it a real dog?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a real dog. It's just, it's just a bit old." He was expecting it to be a robot. Like what?
I don't know what. Is it a real dog or is it fake?
It was
No,
staying
it's
pretty
real.
still though. It was a very still dog.
Why is it not moving?
Why is it no pulse? Oh,
Yeah. They play so much football in that. So there's at least 3 scenes where they go and play.
yeah.
Where they go and chuck a ball. There's one where they're all wearing tuxedos and they're in some random alley. There's another one where again they're in an alley in a corner and they're just good, doesn't go anywhere.
There's one where they're in a park.
There's one in a park and he's running about, and I think they were just going on a run or something. And again, it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't lead up to anything, it doesn't end with anything. There's a great line in it. Mark's already started having an affair with Lisa, and Johnny's going on about his job, and he's like,
Oh, is this in the coffee shop?
yeah, he's in a coffee shop, and he's like, oh, how's the banking business going? He's like, oh, it's fine. We got a new. You're gonna have to do the accent.
Okay. Yeah, we got a new client. We make a lot of money.
And then he goes like, oh, so tell me, how's your sex life?
Just out of the blue, just out of nowhere. I'm not sure if the whole point is Tommy's supposed to be.
It was meant to be like a trip up.
Yeah, he's onto the fact that maybe he's having an affair with his fiancée and was just like, oh, so how's your sex life? Just expecting him to maybe. But I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think he had no reason to believe. I think he just wanted to give the audience a moment.
Is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say he's cheating?
Yeah, or just we know.
I
But
guess so,
it just
yeah.
doesn't work because there's no reason for Johnny to ever say that.
So that's why I thought the reason he must have said it is because it was implying that he had an idea.
I don't think so.
Later on in the film, they have that fight in the party, and he goes, "Maybe I know more than you think, Mark."
No, that's because later on he overhears them having sex.
Oh no, he doesn't hear him. He hears the mother and Lisa talking, and he records it, doesn't he? Fuck. What else happens in this piece of fucking garbage?
So much, right? So there's a bit in it. So bearing in mind, this 18-year-old kid that lives next door to them is meant to be their son, essentially. Johnny's saved him from a life of drugs.
Well, he hasn't done a fucking good job.
He's done a terrible
Mixing
job with
himself up with dodgy people like Chris R.
Yeah, exactly. That is such a good druggy name.
Chris
R. Just sounds like a drug dealer. All the way through, it's heavily implied that he really likes Lisa. Mm-hmm. And by heavily implied, I mean just outright just showing you that he loves Lisa. Because by the fact in the first 10 seconds of the film, he tries to have a threesome.
Yeah, he's just like, "Can I kiss you?
Can I kiss you on the lips?"
And then she just sort of brushes it off, don't really
They always just brush it off. So Johnny and Denny are on the roof. They're talking, and he's like, "I need to tell you something." And Johnny's like, "What?" And he goes, I really like this girl, and da-da-da-da-da. And Johnny's like, "Oh, love is fine." And then Denny goes, "It's Lisa. I love Lisa. I think about her all the time. I want to kiss her and have sex with her and all that shit." And
I don't think he said he wants to have sex with her. I think
he flat out does.
He says he loves. Yeah,
not so directly, but Johnny's okay with it. He's like, "Oh, it's perfectly natural to love someone."
Yeah, if more people love each other, the world would be a better place to live.
And it's like, if you turned around to me and you went, "Raphi, I love your girlfriend, I want to be with her," I'd be like, "Do you want to fuck off?"
I'm not paying for your tuition anymore, you little cunt.
Yeah, what do you mean you'd love...
And I swear in the same scene, he basically moves straight on to, "There's this girl at school I like. I think I'm probably going to marry her."
Yeah, that was weird as well.
Okay, all right, moved on from liking Lisa quite quickly.
To wanting to get married to some random girl in your...
I guess they couldn't have him the villain. They needed to focus on Mark.
Yeah.
Because they're best friends right up until a point, and I think the point is at the party, because he seems to be the whole idea is that he's being manipulated by Lisa, who's some schizophrenic, bipolar fucking witch woman.
This is why I thought she was actually a psychopath and she was playing a psychopath. Because the way she actually, the stuff she does and the way she acts.
Lying about the beating and lying about her being pregnant.
Yeah, I thought she was actually meant to be a psychopath. So disappointed she was just a shit actress.
Yeah, and badly written character.
And just terribly written, yeah.
So
it's Tommy's birthday and...
They have a party.
They're having the party and... Oh, it's brilliant. So Lisa wants everyone out of the house so she can spend some alone time with Mark inside the house. Mm-hmm. And Mark's like, "Well, how are you going to get everyone out?" And she goes, okay, everybody, let's go take this outside.
Let's get some fresh air.
Yeah, and everyone goes, oh, okay. And they all walk out apart from them two, and they make out for a bit, which is when random
guy comes in. Why are you doing this?
You're going to hurt Johnny, and he's been my best friend for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck off.
There's two argument fight scenes, which they might as well have just condensed and made one singular fight scene.
Yeah, it could have been one fight scene.
Because like Mark and Lisa were getting all, close, and Tommy's obviously like, what the fuck's going on?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? She's my future wife.
Get off her.
Yeah, and then they go, oh, I'm sorry, and then they make up. And then literally 5 seconds later, the same scene happens again with a different outcome.
Inside.
I break every bone in your body. Motherfucker, don't touch me.
That's perfect. So they have another fight because again they start like kissing and shit like right in front of Johnny, and he's like, well, maybe she doesn't want to be with you. Have you ever thought about that? You fucking arsehole.
Oh god, yeah.
And then so they have another massive argument, and everyone goes. She's just like, everybody get out, party's over, blah blah blah. He goes upstairs and he locks himself in the toilet for about an hour, and she's like, Mark loves me and all that shit, and like, I'm gonna go be with him. Then he listens to the cassette where she admits that she's been sleeping with Mark, and he's like, oh my god, she's been sleeping with Mark.
Well, she goes and picks up a phone and he records as she's having a call, so he hears one side, and then afterwards he takes the tape like, haha, I've been recording you all along, plays the tape in front of her, and her side of the conversations that we just heard isn't the same. Some of the lines that she said was...
The lines that are actually different from the recording to what she said, and it's so funny because you hear it like 2 seconds later.
Stupid. So he skip it all. He kills himself.
Yeah, so he can't have enough of it, so he pulls out a gun and shoots himself in the head.
But not before he has the best freak out scene, trashes his house. Like the most low energy rage scene I've ever seen. It was like the Incredible Hulk on Valium. Just like just smashing tellies and pulling drawers out of...
He just throws everything off the table and just makes such a mess, but he does it with such little enthusiasm. He's like a kid who's having a tantrum, but he's really tired.
It's like if Kevin the teenager had a tantrum.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god.
And he's just he sort of
barely moves his arms.
Exactly, barely moves his arms at all, has absolutely no energy. Oh, it's
and you're just
beautiful.
So
I was watching it. I was couldn't breathe because I was laughing so hard.
Oh, I love this film. He trashes his room and he gets out a box that has a gun in it. Now, I'm not sure. Is it the same gun the drug dealer had, or does he just own a gun?
He just has a gun, I guess.
Right, so...
I don't know. It's probably the same prop. But...
Okay, so, yeah. So he has this gun. He just has one because it's American.
Is it a little safe or just a box? I don't know.
It was in a box. I mean, the box would be easily opened. I don't think he put in any combinations in it.
Yeah, he just opened it.
But he opens up the box and he's like, I can't do this anymore. And he pulls the trigger and it's edited.
Yeah.
Terribly.
He puts the gun in his mouth, pulls the trigger, and it's like slowed down, but it's not slow motion. It's like slowed down, so it's like...
The frames are the same.
Yeah, it's very...
So when you do slow motion, you need to double up the frames.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't do that.
So it's just like frame, frame, and then he fell.
When he blows himself up, he blows himself up when he takes it.
Well, he might as well do, because there's so much fucking blood on the floor. No brains, just
there's
blood.
no brains, and there's no hole in his head or anything.
No.
But there's so much blood everywhere. And then Mark and Lisa come in and they're like, oh my god, is he dead? And it's like...
Yeah, he's just like, oh, do you think?
Do you think he's dead?
Checked his pulse.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a doctor or anything, but you know.
You know, the most ironic part is that Johnny playing dead was the best acting he had done in the whole film. He was like...
And even then, he moved his head.
Did he move his head?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I did. He twitched his head.
I thought he was like convincingly still. For the most part. Anyway.
For the most part, he was.
And then Mark leans forward and kisses his dead shot through head.
So gross. And then, for some reason, Lisa, the everlasting bitch, is just like, we can be together now forever.
And he's like, fuck you, whore.
And he's like, no, I don't want to be with you, whore. This is your fault. And, like, runs off. And I'm just like...
And the film just ends.
No, freaking...
Oh, Denny comes in.
Denny comes in and he's like...
Johnny,
no, what have you done, Johnny? Say it isn't true. And, oh, God... and then,
God.
and she's like, call the ambulance. And then it just ends with
and
him.
no one calls the ambulance, but you hear the sirens.
You hear the sirens. No one calls the ambulance, but you see the sirens, you hear the blue.
Oh, God.
And then it ends there with Johnny dead.
And that's it. Now,
And then how it really ends with apparently is him actually being a vampire. So how did that ending happen?
they didn't make it. They didn't film it. It was just an idea that they never got around to doing.
What was his idea then?
I don't know. He gets fed up with Lisa and goes away. I don't know. I mean,
I must return to where I came.
I showed you they did. There
My
was a
planet needs me.
I don't think anyone knew about it until the Disaster Artist book came out, because that's where a lot of the facts came out of, like, how long it took for how many shots it took for him to make that scene, and a lot of the stuff about him and how he behaves on set. But before the book came out, there was The Room video game. It was a fan-made game, like a full sort of retro-styled game. And that had an ending where he's an alien. And at the end of it, after he kills himself, he goes back to a mothership. And he's just like, so what did you learn when you were there? And he's just like, that humans are horrible and I never want to go back. But there's actually like Easter eggs in that game where you collect spoons. Now, the spoons is like a tradition. If you go to these live sort of theatre viewings of The Room, you'll find a bunch of people just have plastic spoons that they lob at the screen. Now, the spoons wasn't something that stood out to me in a film, and obviously not to you either, because you haven't even mentioned them. Yeah. But if you notice that in the background, there's like picture frames and stuff just on bits of furniture, and they're just pictures of spoons.
Why?
Because Tommy Wiseau basically rushed to a furniture shop trying to get props. And you know, like in how like showrooms and stuff, they just have generic.
Yeah.
So there was generic things with spoons in it. It's just like, I want them and I want them, and he just bought them and stuck them on his film set, and that's why they have a random pictures of spoons.
Oh, for fuck's sake! He could have just got like random pictures of himself.
Yeah, I guess it was quicker to go to a local sort of furniture store and just.
So how much money did he spend on this?
A few million. But they had to pay wages as well, and the only reason. So Greg Sestero is his best friend. In real life. He only agreed to do it. Even he didn't want to be in this film. The part for Mark was originally cast. Okay. And there's this whole thing that's not in a Disaster Artist movie, so I don't feel bad about talking about it. But there's this whole thing that went on where the part for Mark was already cast. But Tommy actually wrote the part for Greg. He's like, I wrote this part of the best friend for my real life best friend. And he's like, well, the character in it cheats on your fiancés. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But he wrote the part, and because he refused to do it, they hired another guy. And by the time that Greg agreed to do it, and the reason he did it is because he offered him a fuck ton of money, and he really needed it at the time because he was a struggling actor in Hollywood. They'd already cast the part. So he had this dastardly idea of basically, he filmed the whole thing with two cameras, one on film and one on digital. He wanted to be the first he wanted to be the first director to do it.
Right.
Okay. Bear in mind that both types of cameras need very different lighting conditions.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, his idea was, we shoot we'll do a version with him and we'll do a version with you. And we'll tell everyone on film set that we're filming your bit for like a portfolio, not for the actual final version of the film, when really he's obviously, I'm going to cut this other guy out and keep his parts. But that's what you're looking at with the character of I'm going to say the character of Tommy Wiseau, because he is a character.
He is not a real person.
He is the most odd human being.
Not human.
Is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Because there's a couple of things I could think of, but
the film is known for its quotes, and it's got
keep your stupid comments in your pocket.
It's not just that, it's also like, you can tell Tommy tried so hard to be a good actor, but he's just not. There's a part in it where Lisa's told him, Lisa hasn't told him, but I'm not sure how, but Johnny's found out the rumour that he's hit her.
They never have the scene where she tells him.
No.
It's just, she's told people, and suddenly he knows.
Yeah, he just knows, and he's like, I didn't hit her. He goes up to her and he goes like,
I didn't hit you. Basically, she's just being a bitch.
But she's like, you did hit me.
And he's like, she's like, I'm going to do the washing up and I'm going to go upstairs. And he stands up at the bit where she's not being rude and then goes, how dare you talk to me that way? And then pushes her down. I mean, he pushes her. He doesn't hit her.
No, he pushes her, but he still pushes her.
But this happens after she's accused him of hitting her. So it's like he's living up to what she's already said he's going to do.
But not really, because it's such a light push.
Why are you not telling me everything? You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
He goes like, I love you, Lisa.
Talking about this film has just sucked the energy out of me.
It actually has. It's a film that I don't want to watch. But it's a film that I love watching like random clips of.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best parts of it, because you think about it, the idea of watching the film is a lot funner than actually watching it, because you forget about the really long, tedious scenes.
I had a lot of fun watching it when I first watched it. I watched it with my girlfriend, and we loved every second. We spent the entire time just taking the piss out of it, because you do, because it's shit. But it works. It works really well for her, and I can see why it's a cult classic. And like you said, Tommy's done so well to manage it like he has. Because he's a weird guy. He could have easily turned around and goes, "Oh, taking the piss out of my film."
Yeah, like the other guy from the Troll film, yeah.
And it's just like, because he seems the type that would do it.
Yeah, but...
It seems like he's got such a fragile ego.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe not necessarily anymore, because he knows, like, he always dreamt his movie would become a classic, maybe not quite...
It did become a classic.
Not quite how he wanted.
No, he wanted to be like Oscar worthy.
Yeah,
but he became.
He wasn't at the Oscars, was he? Was he at the Oscars, or was he at the Golden Globes recently? He was at one of those film events.
Was he not the Razzies?
I can't remember what it was, but he was there basically with the guys who made Disaster Artist.
That'd be why.
Yeah, not because he did a film that was great.
Just because his name was attached to a film.
Yeah, I love it, and it's the thing is, I would be happy for him, but I'm not. And we'll go into that when we talk about the Disaster Artist, because for reasons. But the film itself, brilliant, just so bad it's great. I don't even mind the music. You know, even the music is weird. It's like it's clearly a not licensed. I don't know. He might have had it made, but it sounds like some weird sort of French 50s sort of track. It is weird. It doesn't fit what you would think of a contemporary sort of modern day Hollywood romance tragedy. Not at all.
Yeah, and just think, from this point on, you're always gonna have Tommy's arse in your mind.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself, gay boy.